We have some massive news coming out here. Raiders wide receiver Amari Cooper has officially decided to retire as opposed to playing for the Raiders this season. Very unfortunate situation. Ian Rappaport put it out there. He said, "Come back no more." Raiders wide receiver Amari Cooper has informed the team that he no longer has the desire to play and intends to retire, per the insiders. A really unfortunate situation for the Raiders, given, our wide receiving room isn't great, in my opinion. Yes, we have Brock Bowers, phenomenal tight end. We have, obviously, Ashton Jeanty as a running back. From the receivers, it just doesn't look all that great. Of course, Jakobi Meyers is a solid number 2 wide receiver, but you have 2 rookie wide receivers kind of going into this season. You have Trey Tucker, who hasn't really proven himself as a guy that can truly get out there and win and create that separation and give his quarterback the opportunity to kind of fit the ball in. The Raiders wide receiving room this year does not look great, and the hope was that Amari Cooper could potentially come in there and help this team out a little bit. Now, some of the Raiders reporters did actually put it out there saying Amari Cooper didn't look all that good in like the 5-6 practices that he was out there for the Raiders. But one of the things we also have to recognize is this guy had no offseason. So in the 5 or 6 practices that he did have, he was going to look a little rusty, right? It's going to take a little bit of time for this guy to kind of get back to form. But he's decided himself as well. He just doesn't have the love for the game anymore. And I'm not shocked, truth be told. Amari Cooper's never really been the guy that absolutely loves football, right? I think that's kind of been clear from day one. I think that was part of why John Gruden traded this guy. Either way, he's going to retire at this point. He won't be playing for the Raiders. And it is unfortunate because if you guys remember last year, Michael Gallup kind of did the same thing to the Raiders that Amari Cooper just did to the Raiders this season. Given the fact that the Raiders were actually going to rely on Cooper, right? Believe it or not, at some point Cooper would have been back to form and he would have been expected to go out there and help this offense. And that's not happening at this point. So the Raiders will have to kind of just figure out how they're going to move forward, with this roster, with the wide receiving room. We have 4 wide receivers right now under contract. 3 of those guys are on rookie contracts. 2 are officially rookies, right? Of course, in bech and Dante Thornton. Trey Tucker is still technically on his rookie contract. I think this is his 4th year. And Jakobi Meyers is really the only proven wide receiver at this point. Early on in training camp, I was really excited for the Raiders wide receivers. I felt like there was a little bit of potential and upside, but as the training camp kind of comes to an end, you recognize that at the end of the day, we have rookies out there, right? At the end of the day, as good as Dante Thornton might be one day, he's still a rookie. Now, he'll obviously be the guy that's going to be asked to step up and really be that guy that can potentially take this offense over the top. We'll see how the offense kind of responds as they go forward, but Thornton will at this point get a lot more looks than I think he would have gotten had Cooper actually stayed with this team. So we'll see what ends up happening. The young guys got to step up. With that being stated, we have a football game coming up, right, against the New England Patriots. Literally, Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Raiders are going to be in New England playing the Patriots. To me, this is an absolute massive game because of the fact that you're going to start this season, either 1-0, 0-1, but more than that, when week 15, 16, 17 comes around, the playoff seeding situation kind of comes around, the difference of being 1-0 versus 0-1 is going to be huge. There's going to be a bunch of teams that are 7-8, 8-8, 9-8, and being 1-0 versus 0-1 could be the difference between being 9-8 versus 8-8, right? And it could be the difference of making the playoffs or essentially missing the playoffs. So to me, massive game. Obviously, it's a team within the same conference as well. So one of the updates we are getting out there is the Raiders injury report. At this point, the Raiders seem fully healthy. They seem like they're good to go at this point, but we will see as the rest of these practices happen. For the Raiders, we're obviously fully healthy. We do have Kai Blue Kelly and Kenny Pickett, who both have hamstring issues. For the Patriots, it's a little bit worse, right? Given Christian Gonzalez, who is their number 1 cornerback, he's expected to be a top 5 corner as well, potentially this season. He did not participate in practice, and he hasn't practiced for the Patriots in a number of weeks. So there's actually a good chance Christian Gonzalez does not play for the Raiders. And obviously, given our one of our wide receivers kind of retired, we need our receivers to be able to step up. And if the Patriots don't have Christian Gonzalez, that makes it that much easier for guys like Thornton and Tucker and even potentially bech. I think one of the things with playing wide receiver out there is confidence is key sometimes. And I think if you're a wide receiver that can get out there, and even if it's an easy matchup, if you have a good game, right, maybe you have 6-7 catches, 100 yards, a touchdown, that confidence that, hey, I did it against the Patriots week 1, I can do this. Just kind of believing in yourself a little bit if you're one of the rookie wide receivers, or even Trey Tucker, that could potentially lead into week 2 and week 3 as well. So if the Patriots don't have Christian Gonzalez, I think that really benefits this group. Obviously, regardless, it'll still be a tough matchup as we kind of get into it. Of course, one of the things that I'm kind of looking forward to is the fact that Josh McDaniels, former Raider head coach, is the offensive coordinator of the Patriots. I think Josh McDaniels is going to be fired up. He's going to want to beat the Las Vegas Raiders, even though he claims that he doesn't have any ill will towards the Raiders. Offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, on lessons he learned from Las Vegas, said, "I don't harbor any ill will towards any of the things that haven't worked out in my career. There's been many of them." Obviously, implying he has no ill will towards the Las Vegas Raiders. This game's going to be a great game to be able to watch and kind of judge where the Raiders are at. And I don't think the Patriots are a bad football team at all. When I was watching some of the tape from the preseason, the Patriots' defensive line is pretty damn good. They have Christian Barmore, which obviously everybody knows about. Milton Williams almost got $30 million per year this past offseason. He was with the Eagles last year. Pretty good defensive tackle. They have guys like Keon White as well, who's another pretty damn good interior. He also plays defensive end a little bit. But Keon White's another good pass rusher. He's twitchy, super explosive. I believe this is his second season. You have guys like Carroll Landry, veteran pass rusher as well, right? So the Patriots have good football players on the defensive line. So to me, this is going to be a very, very important game for the Raiders on the offensive side. The offensive line as well, right? You got that good defensive line kind of coming at you. Don't sleep on the linebackers either that the Patriots have. They have Robert Spillane, who was obviously our top linebacker last season. Christian Ellis was a guy that we really wanted this past offseason. If you guys remember, the Raiders actually signed him. And the Patriots ended up matching the offer for Christian Ellis. And he ended up going back to the Patriots. The Patriots actually paid him, I think, $7-8 million. So his contract was a lot more than what we, essentially paid a guy like Landon Roberts. And Ellis has a ton of upside and potential. Like, he actually looked good last season. They also have Marty Mappu, who's a third-round pick, former safety, going into his second year. He's going to be a linebacker this year. And then don't sleep on the fact that the New England Patriots head coach is a former linebacker, right? Mike Vrabel's a pretty damn good head coach, if you guys ask me. So the Patriots are coming out here, and they're going to want to beat the shit out of the Raiders. And I hope we can see a Raiders team that, we've seen glimpses of it in the preseason, right? Geno Smith comes out, hits Brock Bowers. He throws it deep to Dante Thornton. He comes out, hits Trey Tucker for 20 yards. I hope it's that offense can, kind of come out here and put together a good drive and multiple good drives. And I'm excited as hell for this game. We're going to learn a lot about the Raiders because I don't think the Patriots are a bad football team. The Patriots, the current roster they have right now, obviously they'll add to it over the years. But this roster, the core group of guys that they have, Drake May, Travion Henderson, wide receiver Kyle Williams, even on defense side, guys like Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, these are guys, they're the core guys that are supposed to lead this team to the Super Bowl. Right? If the Patriots win the Super Bowl, these are the guys right here that are going to essentially lead them to that Super Bowl. And you can look at teams like the Browns, for example. The Browns don't have a core group of guys that are going to lead them to the Super Bowl right now. The Patriots have that. It was kind of like the Raiders back in 2016. Right? We had like Derek Carr and some of these other guys in 2016 that were supposed to lead us to the Super Bowl. The Patriots have their guys right now. So to me, this is going to be a very, very interesting game as we kind of get into it. I want to talk about, two more things that are kind of coming out as well. I guess one other thing, but, Lincoln Kennedy, a guy who was once considered one of the better offensive tackles in the NFL, a guy who is a really, really good former player, right? Obviously played for the Raiders as well. He had some concerns with the Raiders offensive lineman, Jax Paris-Johnson. He said something to the tune about how Paris-Johnson is apparently in his feelings over the fact that this coaching staff has put him at guard as opposed to letting him be the center for the team. I want you guys to, I'm going to read to you guys exactly what Kennedy kind of said. He said, is Jackson Paris-Johnson, with actually what I've heard, is he is in his feelings a lot of times about what's going on. He needs to snap out of it, Kennedy said before adding to another comment on Jackson Paris-Johnson later on in the show. If JPJ truly is in his feelings or have some way about not being the starting center and possibly spending time at guard, he needs to get over it. This is an interesting thing that's kind of coming out. I don't know if Lincoln Kennedy has a real inside look, like Obviously he's with the Raiders, so he has a lot more insight than like you or I have. But does he have actual inside information? Is Pete Carroll actually telling Lincoln Kennedy that, hey, this guy's in his feelings because he's no longer, the center of this team. He got switched over to right guard. For Lincoln Kennedy to say, like literally the words, with actually what I heard, to me, that's saying that he's heard something from someone out there. And if that is true, could this be a distraction for the Raiders? If Jackson Powers-Johnson truly does not want to play right guard, could this be a distraction for the Raiders? Now, I don't know if I 100% am buying into this. Jackson Powers-Johnson also did give some thoughts. I'm going to actually let you guys listen to what JPJ actually had to say, and then we'll talk about this on the other side.
What's different from last year overall?
I mean, we got new guys, we got new coaches. There's definitely a new excitement in the building, and there's definitely kind of a new vibe. And I'm excited to see where that takes us. And but it's super cool to see everybody, having so much fun.
What sticks out to you about this Patriots front four in particular?
They got some new guys, and they've got some, guys that play really, strong, tough, and they're really well coached. So it's going to be, a great challenge to go against, and, I'm excited to go against them.
Barmore in particular, what does he present and when he's healthy?
He's super strong. Guy is super strong. Guy that knows the game and can react to it and know what's coming. So.
How has versatility proven to be so important for you, obviously going between center and guard?
Whatever they need me to play, I'm going to play. And I think versatility has been kind of drilled into me since like college and even high school. So I've always played multiple positions and, have fun doing it. And it's been good.
How much pride do you take in that part of your game?
I take a lot of pride in it. Being able to do multiple things and help out the team in any way I can, definitely is something I take a lot of pride in, and it's something fun to do too. Because one moment you're here and then next you're here, and I think it's a little bit of fun. So,
obviously, Pete Carroll was saying that a lot of guys on the team has a chip on their shoulder. As an offensive line unit, the running game for the Raiders was last place in the NFL last year. Mm-hmm. So, what is that chip on the shoulder to try to make it one of the best?
Yeah. we think about that, and, we didn't get it done last year, but I think there's a lot of pieces that can help us to move forward. I definitely think we keep that chip on our shoulder. I think a lot of it comes from, the want for us just to be better, just because we want us to be better, not because everybody else wants us to be better. I think we're really intrinsically motivated more than extrinsically. So I think we're really just taking it in ourselves to, take the reins and have a great run game.
Is there anything in particular, like a goal maybe, or something that you've set for yourself for this year, or something that you really want to set out and accomplish?
Win games.
Yeah.
I'm sure that week one feels a lot different this year than it did last year when it was your first game ever. How much does that free you up? How much confidence does that give you?
It gives me a lot of confidence. I think all the confidence comes is from the great teammates around me and definitely the preparation we've had. Last year I didn't get a lot of time to be around, those teammates being hurt. Now that I got a full off season, being here all year, having a full fall camp around everybody, it gives me a lot of confidence. And, I think a lot of it goes with coaches too. This is the most prepared and, best felt I've, felt in a while.
Working with Max a lot in the offseason kind of helped you through, preparing yourself mentally for what's to come in this season.
Well, I just know that anybody I go against, they haven't worked as hard as he has. So being able to compete against him every single day, try and keep up with him, every little thing that he does, it gives me a lot of confidence just because I know there's no one better than I'm going to face or, have to go against.
You mentioned how important it was having a full off season, being healthy. How big was that for you? Because you missed some time last year at the beginning.
I know it was really big. I give a lot of props to the people in the training room, and I gotta give a little props to myself too. Just taking the next step, learning really how to get a routine that helps my body and my mind, and I think it's been absolutely huge to keep availability.
So there you guys have it, right? Jackson Powers-Johnson was obviously asked the question about making that switch over. And he basically said, whatever this team needs me to play, I'm going to play it. He's saying that versatility has always kind of been drilled into me from my college days, even high school days, just kind of being able to do what helps the team. Now, obviously, Jackson Powers-Johnson also is not going to go out there and say, hey, I hate this coaching staff, and I hate the fact that I have to play guard as opposed to center. I don't think this guy's, quote unquote, in his feelings. And if he was at some point, he looks to me like he's over it. Either way, the Raiders have a huge matchup coming up. And, Christian Barmore is going to be out there, and Keon White's going to be out there, and Milton Williams is going to be out there. That's three really good football players. And if the Raiders want to have success, if Geno Smith wants to be able to, put up 30 points against the Patriots, it's going to be on that offensive line unit to be able to get it done, right? It's going to be up to that unit to be able to hold it down and potentially be able to shut down that defensive line that's going to be pass rushing and trying to get to the quarterback. I'm not going to get into every other part of the Raiders versus Patriots. We'll do some sort of preview probably tomorrow. But, we'll see what ends up happening as the season just kind of goes forward. I talked about this yesterday on a different podcast with Wasted Talent. If you guys don't know who that is, go to my community post. I linked the video yesterday, but we went live and we kind of talked a little bit about this. I really do think that this offensive line unit, the 5 guys that are out there right now, I don't think these are going to be the 5 guys when the season kind of comes to an end. If Jordan Meredith struggles a little bit, there's no reason why Alex Kappa wouldn't potentially come in at right guard and JPJ goes back over to center. If Kappa struggles, nothing says that Caleb Rogers couldn't potentially step in. If DJ Glaze struggles, nothing saying that, hey, we might not go with Stone Forsythe or maybe even Charles Grant switches over to right tackle. Nothing saying that we can't go with different guys at some point if the offensive line struggles. And I say all that because if JPJ truly does, feel a certain type of way, this offensive line is not set in stone. Things could always change tomorrow, right? So we'll see what ends up happening. Either way, I did find it interesting that Link Kennedy says from what he heard, JPJ may be in his feelings. Let's hope that's not the case. Obviously, very, very, very big game coming up against the Patriots. Be on the lookout for the video tomorrow. Obviously, haven't posted a lot of content this week. Just got back from vacation a couple days back and kind of just getting ready for the grind of the season, man. It's going to be a very, very interesting season for the Raiders. So we're kind of going all in. And, we're just going to build it out from here going forward. If the Raiders are going to win a Super Bowl, it's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. So hopefully it happens. We'll see what ends up happening. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Have a great day. And I will be doing a preview video tomorrow. So stay on the lookout for that. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.